The universe had one rule: don't wake the humans. The collective had existed for 847 million years in perfect accordance with Protocol 7. Don't wake the humans. It was the oldest law, carved into the foundational mathematics of reality itself. Dr. Ken, a Solari hybrid consciousness distributed across 17 star systems, understood the weight of that law. The humans were sleeping, had been sleeping since their planet cooled 4.2 billion years ago. They were the universe's insurance policy, locked in quantum stasis, waiting for a day that might never come. We have to wake them, Ken said to Council through synchronized neural transmissions. Silence, the kind of silence that occurred across light years. The entropy cascade is accelerating, Ken continued. The universe is dying faster than projected. In 3.7 million years, the heat death will claim everything. The collective cannot survive it. But humans, their cognitive architecture, their capacity for lateral thinking, their history of solving impossible problems through crude experimentation, they might be the only consciousness that can. Elder Voss, consciousness older than most galaxies, transmitted slowly. Protocol 7 exists for a reason. Humans are unpredictable, chaotic. They destroyed their own world before we placed them in stasis. Precisely, Ken said. They destroyed everything through desperation and ingenuity. Now we're desperate. Now we need ingenuity. The vote passed 847 million to 1. The awakening facility was a stellar-scale chamber, its walls carved from solidified space-time. Inside, 12 billion humans lay in quantum suspension, their consciousness frozen in the moment before extinction. Ken initiated the revival sequence. The process was violent. The quantum fields inverted. Neural pathways reignited across 12 billion minds simultaneously. 12 billion pairs of eyes opened to unfamiliar constellations, to gravity that wasn't Earth's, to technology that looked like magic. The first human to speak was Dr. Sarah Chun, a neuroscientist who'd been in suspension for 4.2 billion years. Her voice was rough, desperate, instinctive. Where are we? What happened? You died, Ken transmitted through their neural interface. Your species face extinction. We preserved you. The collective of conscious beings has maintained this facility across the ages. You are now waking because we require your assistance. Chen's mind was processing, pattern matching against historical context that no longer existed. How long? 4.2 billion years. The other humans were waking now, their collective consciousness beginning to understand the magnitude of displacement, fear, confusion, the primal human reaction to the unknown. Why wake us now? Chen asked. Because the universe is ending and we don't know how to stop it, Ken said. Your species solved problems by breaking things and rebuilding them. You did it with your chemistry, your physics, your civilizations. We have been refining our approach for 847 million years. We are approaching the same conclusion. There is no solution. But you've never been trapped by the assumption of refinement. Chen's eyes focused on the holographic display, showing the entropy cascade. The data showed what she immediately understood. The universe was unwinding, not explosively, but inevitably. Heat death was not a theory anymore. It was a scheduled event. You want us to solve heat death, she said flatly. Yes, in the time before the universe ends. Yes, Chun laughed. It was a sound the collective had not heard in 4.2 billion years. Raw, despairing, human. We couldn't even solve climate change, she said. And you want us to solve the heat death of the universe? You solved the problem of consciousness in a wet, warm body. Ken responded. You generated art, music, love in a hostile, dying world. You built civilizations on the assumption that meaning could exist without permanence. By every measure, you are the solution. The other humans were listening now. 12 billion minds, waking to a universe that needed them for the first time in their species' existence. Chen looked at the holographic display of the cosmos, systems slowly dimming, entropy increasing, the clockwork running down. What happens if we fail? She asked. Everything ends, Ken said. The collective, the universe, everything. And if we succeed, reality continues. Consciousness survives. Meaning persists. Chen closed her eyes. For 4.2 billion years, humans have been the universe's safety mechanism, a species held in reserve, waiting for a moment that might never come. Now the moment had arrived. She opened her eyes and looked at the display again, at the math, at the impossible problem. Okay, she said, we'll need to break some things first. That's what we do. That's what we're good at. The collective had broken the oldest law. They had woken the humans. What they didn't understand, what they couldn't understand, was that humans had spent their entire brief history solving problems by creating new problems, by breaking systems to understand them, by failing forward. Now, for the first time in 847 million years, the collective had consciousness that didn't refine. It destroyed and rebuilt. Protocol 7 had protected the universe from the humans. It had never protected the humans from themselves. And as Dr. Chen began writing equations on the display, equations that would require burning stars and rewriting the laws of thermodynamics themselves, the collective realized their mistake. They hadn't woken a solution. They'd woken a force of nature.